All right, for more on the story, we're joined by Mzansi at Now's Tebogo Lerole. Tebogo, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. The concern by that community member, a very legitimate one, not unusual, to see the kind of presence of police, especially after a crime that has captured the headlines of this country, left everybody absolutely shocked. But it's a reminder of the kind of dangers that South African women live in and live with on a day-to-day basis.
Funny that you're mentioning the violence that's affecting women on a day-to-day basis. That's a conversation we were just having not so long ago. I'm still yet to see hotspots where we've got heavy policing and we've got security clusters, making sure that 24 hours people that reside within those communities are protected and safeguarded. And I actually want to also encourage political leaders as well, because gone are the days where political leaders must only go out to the communities when they are hoping for votes or hoping to be supported during the elections. We want them to also come in and join the fight and stand with the communities. I mean, these people have been affected for the longest of times, and for once, all they want is to reside within their communities and not be affected by crime, not to have the worry of thinking that who is going to attack me when I leave my home and go to work. And I mean, think about it. What I've heard is they are also under a curfew. Can you imagine a whole community being under siege, and they've been given a curfew, and you reside in that community, you have to be indoors by 5 p.m.
How does an organization like yours then get involved, especially in assisting and responding to a community like this?
We would like to assist the community of West Village, and I want to also challenge some of the organizations that I work with, the Colin Mashawana Foundation, the Rali Mampuele Foundation, to say these people are asking for help. I mean, things like lights, not having bulbs in street lights, and making sure or encouraging that their areas must be hotspots. We want to go in there. We want to assist them with putting up lights and making sure that the area is visible enough. We're talking about the grass that is as high as or as tall as my height. I mean, we need to make sure that we clear out all these areas that are blind spots, that actually encourage criminals to take advantage of victims within their residential areas or communities. We want to go into that community and see how best we can help them. But as well, we want to also help the young people that were victimized during this incident, and we also want to offer them the best support as possible. And we also would like to urge to communities at large to say, let's not judge them, let's give them support, let's not make it a pit-sakes conversation. Let's go in there and offer as much support, because these are our young people that come from our communities or our families.
When it comes to addressing the impact of crime in this country, it seems that by and large, communities are on their own, and that they're going to have to rise up in many ways to try and prevent criminality from taking place. I mean, what are the solutions that communities can begin looking at? It's clear that the police are overwhelmed and are failing dismally when it comes to issues such as protection of society.
My point exactly to say political leaders, community leaders, leaders within the communities need to come out, need to devise strategies and plans to make sure that communities are turned into safer spaces. We've got areas that are hotspots. I mean, West Village has been a hotspot for quite some time. The community has sent many reports, or has asked for assistance, has asked for interventions from the police to say, we are under siege, please come in, intervene, help us. We've got a lot of cases that we've opened. And finally, they get to have audience, but with this audience that they've just received, this is when we need to prove that we are South Africans and we have that element of Ubuntu, of helping one another. We need to get our hands dirty. We need not to be sending statements or discussing in boardrooms what needs to happen. Comes Monday morning tomorrow, we need to all wake up and find solutions. How do we assist that community? And I mean, government must get involved. The corporate sector must get involved. GBV is a serious issue in this country. We want all CEOs of companies in this country to take a stand. You know, we cannot march, we cannot shout to the toppest of our voices. We need the men to take responsibility. We need government to take responsibility. We need corporate South Africa to stand up with us and fight this pandemic or fight the scourge of GBV in this country.
So how soon will you be getting out to the community?
We are going this week. We're not going to be wasting time. As I said, I'm challenging brothers of mine and sister organizations that I work with. We are going to get our hands dirty and make sure that we help the community.
All right, Tebogo Lerole, he is with Mzansi Act Now. That is the organization that has been holding various campaigns in different communities, especially those identified as hotspots for gender-based violence, and a lot more support needed for the community of Westville Village. But of course, the bigger question here is really, what happens after this moment to the broader concerns around violence that affects women of South Africa on a more general basis? Because this incident highlights exactly what it is that South African women go through on a day-to-day basis. You leave your house, you can get snatched in the street, you can get raped in the streets, and not much being done to change that situation. Well, that's where we leave it for tonight on News Prime. Of course, we're back with you again tomorrow evening. For now, coming up at the top of 8 o'clock, Thabo Mdluli with In Focus. Let's take a look at your weather.